Welcome to another episode of our live stream, My Journey to the Trinity. My name is Hussein. Happy you could be with us. Happy to be with you a little bit earlier than usual. I'm having to move my time a little bit earlier. Um, so, um, yeah, what happened, let me just tell you what happened, is that something I've been doing lately is putting Arabic hadith on my Facebook page. And these are because this gets the attention of some of my Arabic relatives, and what's amazing is that it's been working. Not like zillions, but I have been getting some responses from some of my Arabic relatives. Hello, Emmanuel. Hi, Q72. Q72. I don't know if. Oh, it said 10 o'clock. Sorry, man. Oh, yeah, it did. And I changed it. You know, um, we have to go a little bit earlier tonight. We're probably going to be going earlier for the rest of my life now, because I'm getting older and stuff. And so, but anyway, what I've been doing is I've been posting Arabic hadiths on my Facebook page. And Facebook, you guys, I don't know if 100% if this is the case, but I kind of have found it to be the case that I get more responses from Arabs on Facebook than I do on YouTube. Um, and especially like with my relatives and stuff, because I've been told that our whole village is on Facebook. Everybody in my village is on Facebook. And so that Facebook is the way to communicate with the Arabs. And so anyway, what I've been doing is I've been putting like different hadiths about Muhammad on Facebook. And a few months, it wasn't a few months, it was a few weeks ago, I put one hadith. And it really got some responses. In Arabic, I put it. And I got some responses, people trying to justify and try to say, oh, you don't understand or whatever. So anyway, uh, so this week, what I did is um, I put this hadith. I put this post here, and this is Arabic hadith, and let me just show it to you in English before I tell you what it says. Let me show it to you in English, and then I will tell you about the response that I got. And I'm hoping that the response I got will lead to our friend Shadi coming here today. And because I sent him an invite. Okay. Okay, let me see if I get it up here. Timothy. Shoot. Shoot, what did I do with the I got the Arabic, but I don't have the English one. Abu Hurairah, I think this is it right here. Okay, here it is. It says Abu Hurairah said Muhammad came. Muhammad said that Gabriel came to him and said, I came to you last night and I was prevented from entering simply because of the fact that there were images at the door. For there was a figured curtain with images on it, and there was a dog in the house. So order that the head of the image which is at the door be cut off, so that it may be like the form of a tree, and order that the curtain be cut up and made into two cushions spread out on which people may tread, and order that the dog be put out. So this is a Sahih Hadith in Mishkat al-Masabih. Okay, and so according to this, Muhammad had images. He had idols in his house, and so this kind of the question is, how can Muhammad, have idols in his house? And he was obviously, Jibril was coming to him. Jibril was coming to him at the house. Now, and Jibril said to him, he can't come in. He can't come in because, first of all, the dog, and then the images, two things that keep angels or keep Jibril. And I'm not saying Jibril is an angel, but ich bin froh, ich bin sehr gut. So, the question is, why does Muhammad have idols in his house? Okay. And if you guys, if you read this, first of all, apparently Muhammad knows Jibril, and he's having interaction and relationship with Jibril. And we can tell this by look at the way he interacts with him. Look at this thing. Look what Muhammad says about Jibril here. He says, as if it's nothing, as if it's commonplace. The messenger told that Gabriel came to him and said, I came to you last night and was prevented from entering simply by the fact that there were images at the door, for there was a figured curtain with images on it. So the thing here that I think is important is that look at the relationship between Jibril and Muhammad. Muhammad had grown accustomed to this evil spirit. He was interacting with him, talking to him, and having no problem. So this Jibril was coming to Muhammad's house regularly and talking to him. And he was talking very clearly and very, and Muhammad, there was no fear on Muhammad's part that this thing is coming to him, this Jibril. He was used to this Jibril by now. So the reason I say this is because this proves that Muhammad was accustomed to Jibril by now. And in the Islamic narrative, the first time Jibril came to Muhammad, he was so scared. He was so scared that he thought Jibril was going to kill him. Remember, Jibril came and grabbed him from behind and started choking him. Say, Iqra, read. And then Muhammad says, what do I read? And he says, Iqra, your Lord made man from the blood clot, which is Surah 96. But Muhammad was so scared. This is the first time Muhammad encountered and Jibril had any kind of interaction. And Muhammad was scared to death of this thing. And he ran home. He thought it was a demon. He was and he ran home and said, Zamaluni, Zamaluni, told his wife Khadija, cover me. And she said, what's wrong, honey? He said, Lamasani jinn. Akhaf innu lamasani jinn. I'm afraid that a demon touched me. Muhammad said he was scared that a demon touched him in the cave of Hira. And that was Jibril, or his Jibril. Okay? It's not Gabriel of the Bible. It's Muhammad's Jibril. So Muhammad initially was terrified of this thing. He was scared to death of this thing initially. And Khadija asked him, do you see your friend? And it was a really, he was terrified of this thing. He was so scared of this thing, Jibril, that he went and told his wife. His wife told him, let's go see Warqa bin Nawfal, her cousin, who's a priest, Ebionite priest. And that's the equivalent of a Jehovah's Witness in a sense, a little bit. They're kind of like Jehovah's Witnesses. And she said, let's go talk to him. And so they went and talked to Waraka bin Nawfal. Waraka bin Nawfal said, "Oh, absolutely, this is the same thing that came to Moses, and so you're the next in line, you know." And there's no record in the Bible, in the Torah, of Jibril coming to, or I mean, Gabriel coming to Moses. In the Bible, Gabriel came to Daniel, he came to Zechariah, and he came to um, Mary, the Virgin Mary. But he did not come to Moses. There's no record in the Bible of him coming to Moses, but Waraka bin Nawfal maybe didn't know that. And he said to Muhammad, "Oh, it's the same thing that came to Moses, so you're a prophet." Okay, but Muhammad was terrified. And there were many times where Muhammad said that he was scared when that thing would come on him. He was scared when that thing would come on him. And but he got used to him. He got used to Jibril. And by the time that this hadith comes around, by the time he was totally, he had total cordial relations with Jibril. Jibril would come to his house and talk to him. So the relationship had developed, which means, because according to Islam, when Jibril came to him in the cave, that's when he became a prophet. That's when he started his prophethood. He's 40 years old. That's when he started his prophethood. Coincidentally, that's when Dante started his prophethood too. But and Muhammad started his prophethood when he was 40 in the cave of Hira, supposedly. And that's when Jibril first came. He was scared to death of the thing. But by this hadith, he wasn't scared anymore. He was totally, and he was talking to people about it. He says, "Hey, Jibril comes," and Jibril came. He's just talking to the guy just like it was, saying, I watched Wheel of Fortune last night or something. It was just like total happenstance. It's not an amazing thing. And everybody knew about it. I mean, Abu Huraira here, he says, it's just like, "Oh, yeah, did Gabriel come? Oh, how's he doing? What was he wearing?" Or, it doesn't even care. I mean, it was totally cordial relationship with Gabriel by now, which means this is this is later on in his alleged career as a prophet. And this raises the question that he's used to Jibril coming to him and coming to his house even. And yet he has idols in his house. Why does Muhammad have idols in his house? It's just a question. Uh, he's supposedly a prophet, and yet he's got idols in his house. Why does he have idols in his house? Why does Muhammad have idols in his house? Okay. Um, I'm trying to see if I could find this a different source. Now, there's many sources where Muhammad says that an angel doesn't come into a house that has idols or dogs. You know, um, uh, there's some crazy hadiths like this one. And this is Sahih. It says somebody asked Muhammad, "What do you think of this idol?" And Muhammad said, "Whoever makes an idol on Judgment Day, Allah's gonna tell him to breathe a soul into that idol, and he won't be able to do so." So whatever that means. Okay. Now this is a Sahih hadith. Jibril came and asked permission to enter, and the Prophet said, "Come in." He said, "How can I come in when there is a curtain in your house on which there are images? You should either cut off the heads or make it into a rug to be stepped on." So, okay, Jibril is coming to his house. Now, this is a Sahih Hadith, Sunan al-Nisa'i 5465. Same essential story, and Jibril is saying, he isn't talking about the idols by the door, because apparently there was more than one idol here. There was idols by the door that he was supposed to cut the heads off of so that they look like trees, and then there was idols on the curtains. So he had both. He had idols on the curtains. I mean, what? Isn't that a little crazy? That Muhammad, he's been getting all these verses from Jibreel, and there's, he says there's only one Allah and everything, and yet he has idols at his house, and not just like, oh, you know, a little thing. I mean, he's also got them on the curtains too. I mean, it's almost like going to a Chinese restaurant or something, where they got all those Buddhas all over the place, and then they got pictures of them too. I mean, and it's intentional there. They want to create that ambience of Buddhism and stuff. But Muhammad does that at his house, by his door. So everybody who walks in gets to see these idols. And then once you sit down in his house, he's got curtains with pictures of those idols too. And so, here's another one. This is Sahih Abu Dawood. It says, Gabriel came to me and said, I came to you last night, was prevented from entering because there were images at the door. For there was a decorated curtain with images on it in the house, and there was a dog. So again, you got the idols at the door, and then you got pictures on the curtains. I mean, Muhammad was totally like into this. And this was after he was a prophet, supposedly. And him and Jibreel were cordial by now, and Jibreel was coming to his house, and yet he's got these idols in his house. How could that be? How could that be? And so anyway, I took that hadith in Arabic and put it on Facebook. And this is what happened on Facebook. Okay, it's not a huge thing. It says there's a story about curtains that had images on them that were converted to Christians. The images were still in the house, so that was the point. And Sheikh times 3. One of the stories says that it was converted into cushions so people could sit on them or whatever. But the other one was that they were converted into rugs so people could walk on them. But you still have the image in your house. And so it's just, it was interesting. But anyway, one of my Muslim friends, he commented on it. And let's just look at his comment. Let's just look at what he said. I think this is it. Yeah, right here. It's the guy that I did a debate with a few weeks ago on Kenny Bomer's channel. And so I put this, and this was Shadi Shahada said. He said, yes, the Prophet, peace be upon him, had photos in his house. This was commonplace and not shocking. Those people were pagan. He was told to tear those curtains up. Okay, well, there's more than just photos. And of course, they didn't have photos back then, but they did have the images on the curtains and stuff. But there was also idols, tamathil in Arabic, على الباب تماثيل وكان في البيت كرام ستر فيه تماثيل. Okay, so you have both tamathil, which means images or like idols. Tamathil is like a statue or an idol, tamathil. And then there was the images on the curtains. And so he says, yes, the Prophet had that. It's not shocking. Anything Muhammad does is not shocking. Marrying a 6-year-old girl, that's not shocking. Marrying his daughter-in-law, that's not shocking. Anything Muhammad does, it's not shocking. Bless you, babe. Because Muhammad does it, it's not shocking. So to have idols in his house, is not shocking. And so I responded to him and said, not photos, but images that were so offensive that Jibril could not come in the house. Were they idols? Yes, they were idols. Muhammad was already receiving revelation at this point, meaning that he was already a Muslim, and he still had idols in his house. That was my question to him. Is like, how can Muhammad have idols when he's supposed to be a prophet? And so um, anyway, I told Shadi to come on. I sent him an invite because he's now responding to another thing I wrote. Oh, yeah. And so I sent him a message to come and join us. Let me see if he will. I don't think he will. But I'm going to go ahead and send him another invite just to give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he didn't see it, And so, okay, Shadi Shahada. He's the guy that I did the the debate with on Kenny Bomer's channel. Okay, let me message him. Come on, man. I'm live right now. Okay, I sent him another invite. So I've sent him 2 invites. I hope that he'll come on. He has we did a debate about, I don't know if you guys saw it. Not a lot of people saw it. You may have seen the response that I did with Sam Shimon did a review of the debate with me. That got more views than the debate did. But anyway, I sent him an invite. Let's hope he comes on. But in the meantime, let's look at some other things about Muhammad and idols. There's a lot of stuff about Muhammad and idols, you guys. We have the most famous story of Muhammad's idolatry, which is that has a verse in the Quran referring to it. And that was the situation of the satanic verses. When Muhammad bowed down before Allat al-Uzza al-Manat, the 3 daughters of Allah, Muhammad bowed down to them and said, Shafa'athum tirghab, their intercession is desired. And so he began worshiping these 3 idols, these daughters of Allah. And so that's the most famous. But there's also some other ones. Let's look at a couple other ones here. Okay, this is the one we just read. This is another situation here. And it says, historian of the Arab people, Philip Hitti, accepts the veracity of Al-Kalbi's report. Al-Uzza, the most mighty Venus. Wow, you guys, this was interesting when I read this. This is because I never knew this. These are the 3 daughters of Allah. Al-Uzza was one of them. And Al-Uzza, according to this guy, is Venus. Venus is the Greek goddess Aphrodite. I think in the Bible it talks about Aphrodite. I know it talks about Diana, but I think it talks about Aphrodite too. Aphrodite was the Greek goddess of love, and sex. And to the Romans also had Venus. She's very famous because of the statue. There's a statue of her, and her arms are broken off, and one of the most famous Greek gods is Venus, Aphrodite. So apparently, Al-Uzza, which is one of Allah's 3 daughters, Al-Uzza, Allat al-Uzza al-Manat, Al-Uzza apparently was Venus. Wow, that's interesting, meaning that Allah may have been Zeus, because Zeus was the father of Venus. Zeus is in the Greek mythology, Zeus is the number one god, and in the Roman mythology, Zeus is called Jupiter. Jupiter is his Roman name. His Greek name is Zeus, and he's the father of Aphrodite, which in the Roman mythology is Venus. And if Al-Uzza is the daughter of Allah, then maybe Allah is Zeus. Maybe he's Jupiter. Oh my goodness. This is taking it to another dimension here now. Anyway, Al-Uzza, the mighty Venus, the morning star, had her cult in Nakhla, east of Mecca. According to Al-Kalbi, hers was the most venerated idol among the Quraysh, and Muhammad, as a young man, offered her a sacrifice. Wow. History of the Arabs, the earliest times to the present, revised 10th edition. Walid al-Khaldi. Wow. Wow, you guys. That takes things to another dimension there. It means that this is just a continuation of the Greek mythology. The Greeks are the one who came up with the mythology of Zeus and Aphrodite and Juno and Diana and all those fake gods. And is Islam a continuation of that? If Al-Uzza is Venus and she's supposed to be the daughter of Allah, that would make Allah Zeus or Jupiter, who was the biggest god of the Greek pantheon. Wow. I don't know. Let me look. I don't even know if in the Bible, I don't know if it talks about Zeus in the Bible. Let me see if it does. Zeus. Okay, no, it's not in the Bible. No. How about Jupiter? Oh, there is a reference to Jupiter in the Bible. Remember when Barnabas and Paul went to an island? And they were they had been bitten by a snake. They were bitten by an asp, and they were supposed to die, but they didn't die. They just shaked off the snake, and then the people started worshiping them as gods. And when they were worshiping them, they said they called Barnabas Jupiter and Paul Mercury. Those are two of their gods. And the priest of Jupiter, which was before their city, brought oxen and garlands to the gates and would have done sacrifice. And then, you guys, another interesting thing, in Acts chapter 19, because the story of the Kaaba, this Acts 19, you guys, look at it. It's like one of the riots in Muslim riots in Pakistan. It's exactly like it. And it was, what happened is that Paul had spoken about Diana, and the city of Ephesus was the place where they had the rock, the meteorite that fell from heaven from the great goddess Diana. And so they took this rock, which is a meteorite, and they used to worship this rock, exactly like the story of Islam, of the Kaaba, where they worship the rock in Mecca. And they kiss it and they walk around it and everything. And it says the townspeople, because there was going to be a riot because of Paul, and the guy said, "Oh, men of Ephesus, what man is there that knoweth not that the city of the Ephesians is a worshiper of the great goddess Diana, and the image which fell down from Jupiter," Jupiter being the main god, Zeus. So in the Bible, Jupiter is mentioned 3 times. And Jupiter is the Roman name for Zeus. The Greek name for Jupiter is Zeus. And his daughter was Venus. And Venus, according to this guy, is Alet, one of the daughters of Allah, meaning Allah is really Jupiter. Just a continuation of the Greek mythology that existed thousands of years before Islam. Dude, learn something new every day, huh? Dang. Wow, that's wild. Shoot. Sometimes you're not looking for stuff, and that's when we usually find interesting things like that. So, okay, let's look at another one here about Muhammad and the idols. Okay. Narrated Abdullah, Allah's apostle said that Zayd ibn Amr Nufal at a place called Belda, and this had happened before Allah's apostle received divine. Okay, so this is before Muhammad. It says Allah's apostle presented a dish of meat that had been offered to him by the pagans to Zayd ibn Amr, but Zayd refused to eat of it and said to the pagans, I do not eat what you slaughter to your stone altars and sabs, nor do I eat except on which Allah's name had been mentioned. How could that be before the inspiration, when the guy is saying that he worships Allah? He says he's worshiping Allah. How could this be before Muhammad, before the inspiration? He says it's before the inspiration. How could it be before the inspiration when Zayd ibn Amr is only worshiping Allah? I think this was after, and Muhammad is eating food offered to idols. Muhammad is eating food offered to idols. Sahih al-Bukhari, 741-407. So Muhammad had a thing there. He had him in front of his house, had him on his curtains, had him for lunch, offering them to his friends. And his friends, however, would not eat it. Here's another one. The Prophet slaughtered a ewe, which is a female sheep, for one of the idols, Mus'ab min al-Ansab. Okay, so Muhammad slaughtered a ewe for an idol. Then he roasted it and carried it with him. Then Zayd ibn Amr ibn Nufail met us in the upper part of the valley. It was one of the hot days of Mecca. When we met, we greeted each other with the greeting of the age of barbarism. Imam Sabahan. The Prophet said, why do I see you, O son of Amr, hated by your people? He said, this happened without my being the cause of their hatred, but I found them associating divinities with God, and I was reluctant to do the same. I wanted to worship God according to the religion of Abraham. The Prophet said, would you like some food? Wow, so Muhammad is offering him some idol food. Dude. Then the Prophet put before him the meat of the ewe. He, that is Zayd, said, what did you sacrifice to, O Muhammad? He said, to one of the idols. Zayd then said, I'm not one to eat anything slaughtered to a divinity other than God. Dang. Sharaf al-Mustafa. Muhammad and the religion of Islam. Looks like his disciples were more religious than he was. Anyway, guys, so those are, and there's more. There's a lot more, not just this. Okay. And I tell you what, though, the thing that caught my attention is that thing about Venus, that whole connection to the Greek mythology. Because you guys, the pantheon of the Greeks were all over the world. Alexander the Great, Dul Qarnayn, he conquered the whole world, all the way to India. And so he probably got into Arabia and got some of that Greek influence, got into where they had the pantheon of Jupiter and his daughters, Diana, Venus, and all those. And so the belief is that Allah had 3 daughters. Are those 3 daughters the daughters of Zeus? Let me just look. Now I'm curious. Okay, these are, how many children did Zeus have? Might have had, oh, he had 92 children. So he was, okay. Okay, what were his daughters called? Some of his daughters were mortal. Athena, which is Diana. No, Athena. Athena is, I think Athena is Diana. Athens is named after Athena. So that would be Diana. The same Zeus. What's funny, baby?
I put their names for the trio.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. My wife did something. Khadija, Aisha, Sophia. Khadija, Aisha, and Sophia. Those were the three daughters of Zeus. Yeah. Well, what's interesting is that it seems like the Arab pagan religions had um, a Greek influence and Roman influence. So, what do you know? And and if Allah had three daughters, one of them was Venus, that means Allah is Zeus. Allah is Jupiter because he was the biggest god. You know, he was the biggest god. You know, he had brothers. He had two brothers. One was Neptune, the god of the sea, and Hades, the god of the underworld. But he was the top man on Mount Olympus. And so that's who Zeus Huwa Akbar. Zeus is the greatest. So yes, in Arabic is yes Yesur. Yes, in Arabic Jesus is Yesur. We don't know where the word Isa comes from. Maybe from the Greek, maybe, but um, Arabic name means no. Isa is it. Yaqub is Jacob, but Isa is the brother of Jacob. Isa is the brother of Jacob, Esau. So yeah, I think it's Esau. Esau in the in the
Jacob's brother.
yeah in Arab
Esau.
yeah in Arabic it's Isu. Yeah, which is Isa, which is so yeah there might be connection there. So yeah, Christian Arab Christians do use the word Allah, just the same way American Christians use the word God, which is used. So hopefully,
Why did Muhammad have idols in the house?
so why did Muhammad have idols in the house? That's a good question. Maybe
And why are Muslims telling us why we have Jesus pictures in the church?
yeah, and why do Muslims complain about us having the picture of Jesus in the church? Um, you know what? Muhammad, obviously, later on, if you watch later hadiths, Muhammad always says that angels won't come to a house that has idols in it or black dogs. You know, so apparently he stopped doing that. But why did he have them? It's very interesting that he had them. Was there some kind of, worship, you know, of these idols? I know that Muhammad had a spirit that used to follow him that is called the white, El Abyad in Arabic, El Abyad. He had this spirit that used to follow him called the white. And Aisha asked him once. Muhammad said everybody has what's called the Qareen. Qareen is like a little munchkin demon that follows him. Muhammad said every person has one of these little munchkin demons or gremlins following them. It's called the Qareen in Arabic. And then Aisha asked Muhammad and said, "You too, O Prophet of Allah?" And he said, "Yeah, me too. But I converted him to Islam." So he converted his demon to Islam. So, but anyway, Muhammad had a real obsession with demons. He had a real obsession with jinns. He said they slept in his nose, urinated in his ears, did unbelievable stuff. And so, you know, with Muhammad, I think he saw Satan as omnipresent. And because he's urinating in everybody's ears and he's sleeping in everybody's nose, that's why he says you got to do wudu. It's why you got to blow your nose in the morning. Muhammad said the reason you got to blow your nose is because Satan's been sleeping in your nose all night long. And then if you sleep in and miss prayer, he says it's because Satan urinated in your ears. And so how does Satan urinate in how many billions of ears does Satan urinate? What do you drink to be able to urinate that much? And how could Satan be in all those places, urinating in all those ears, sleeping in all those noses? So yeah, there's a demon. It's a Satan. Yeah. And with Muhammad, it's just like Satan was everywhere, and I think it's because Satan was using him and it was attacking him so much that he always had this Satan consciousness, this awareness of Satan. So anyway, but he also had idols in his house. Why did he have idols? I wonder why, and he had curtain. Huh? What?
Did you want storm?
Yes. So, all right, you guys. Yeah. What? I didn't get. Oh.
You don't have anything else?
I thought you had. Okay. All right. Well, my wife says that we're fine to stay. We don't have to go to bed yet. So she's having fun. So let's see if do we have any Muslims who want to come on? Who? Hey, baby kittens. Haven't seen you for a while. Redeemed baby kittens. If you're here, man, come on. We haven't seen you for a while, bro. Want to know what's going on? Redeem baby kittens. If you're here, come on, man. We've been praying for you. See what Tiger said? Redeem baby kittens. Oops. Praying for you, brother. Want to know how you're doing. Andrew Martin's always got oh, Allah, forgive me my sin, drive away my devil, free me from my responsibility, and place me in the highest assembly. Sunan Abi Dawud. Yep. He was so Satan aware. Yeah. Drive away.
He's not omnipresent.
He's not omnipresent.
No.
But Muhammad's is. How else could he urinate in all those ears every night?
That's a lie.
I know it is, but I'm saying to Muhammad, he must have been, to be able to do that,
He lied. He scared them.
Yes, control.
Scare them, take their wives from them.
Yeah.
We create a religion.
Thank you, Jennifer. God bless you. There is none amongst you with whom there is not an attaché. See, there's the word there is attaché, from among the jinns. In Arabic, the word is qarin, which is a demon. And he said, thereupon he said, yes, but Allah helps me against him. And so I am safe from his hand. And he does not command me, but for good. Now, this is what's interesting. This is what really is interesting. And I'd love to have a Muslim come up and tell me. Muhammad said there was a demon that was commanding him. He says, he does not command me, but for good. Now, he says that he commands him for good, but he means that he's being commanded. He's being controlled. Who's controlling him? Okay. But there is a place where Muhammad said that he was commanded. And it's in Sahih Muslim where he says, he says, I was commanded to fight the people until they say there's no God but Allah. And Muhammad did it, he says, I was commanded to fight. Who commanded him? This thing? He says, talking about this demon, he says, he commands him. He was being commanded by demons. Muhammad said that. He does not command me, but for good. And Muhammad said that about himself, that he was commanded by demons. Muslims, I wish you'd come up and explain this to us, because this is very confusing. He even mentioned that Allah, he withdraws, but when he's neglectful. Oh, okay. All right, you guys. Well, I don't know. It doesn't look like we have any Muslims who want to come on. It'd be nice to have a Muslim come on because I'd like to ask some questions. Hey, Pro Life Chloe, God bless you. And who's this? Khibti, Khalti, Shushu. Khalti, by the way, in Arabic means my mother's sister. Khalti is like my aunt, my mother's sister, because my father's sister would be Amti, you know, on my paternal aunt is Amti, but my maternal aunt is Khalti. Do you have that? Amma? Yeah, Amma is just the general word for aunt. Yes. Am is uncle. Yeah. Ammi. Ammo is my uncle, my beloved uncle. Yeah.
No, in Farsi, Amu is uncle.
Oh, okay.
Amu.
Uh,
Amu. Ain.
yeah.
Ain.
Ain. You guys say Ain. We say Khalto or Khalti. Yeah, that's right. He's making fun of me. Yes, Steve, he's making fun. Muhammad against the black jeans.
Can you tell us a little bit about how we don't have pictures and why we don't have pictures of Jesus and why there are some pictures of Jesus there?
Yeah. My wife is asking about the pictures of Jesus that Christians have sometimes, and I don't have a problem with having pictures, and I don't think it's wrong to have pictures of Jesus and stuff. I think it's wrong to pray to them, or to worship them, which, the Bible talks about kneeling down before images, and so I think that's wrong, to do that. A lot of people disagree with me. Like if it's a statue of Jesus, I think even a statue of Jesus, you don't bow down to it, okay, because it's just a statue, okay. I don't have a problem with, portrayal of Jesus. For instance, a movie about Jesus, movie about the crucifixion or something like that, because Paul in the book of Galatians says to the Galatians, he says, before whose eyes Christ was clearly portrayed as crucified. I think that they must have done a play, a sketch or something, theater, with the crucifixion scene. I think that's what I think is clearly portrayed as. Huh? Am I totally off subject here, babe? My wife isn't happy with my exegesis.
You just tell me that you saw it, that they crucified Jesus. I know it's just portrait, but it doesn't mean that they.
Yeah, but Galatia was nowhere near Jerusalem, before whose eyes Christ was clearly portrayed as crucified. Yeah, I think.
So they did a Jesus of Nazareth movie?
They didn't have the movie. I think they did a play, like a drama, because the Greeks used to do a lot of drama. So I think it was done like that. I choose to believe that just because I love drama. I love to act and stuff like that. And so maybe I'm wrong, but my wife tells me sometimes that I'm a drama queen. Like when I get to sniffles, I need special attention all the time. And so, okay. Well, you guys, I don't think there's any Muslims that want to come on. I don't think we got any Muslims who are coming on. If there are, you know what I'll do is I will put an invite here in case there's a Muslim.
I want to talk.
If you guys want to come on, my wife would like to exhort you.
Can I talk to?
If you guys want to come on, if there's any Muslim who wants to come on, where are all our Muslims? We had a bunch of them. Last night we had a bunch of them.
They're watching.
You know, I don't know where they went. You know, I'd love to ask the Muslims, why does Muhammad have idols in his house? You know, Jibreel wouldn't go into Muhammad's house because he's got all these idols. Why? What is it? You know, eventually Muhammad told everybody, you know, if we go back and look at those hadiths, you know, let's look at those hadiths. You know, because Muhammad is very, after this incident, he became very averse to having idols in his house. But before then, the question is, why did he have idols in his house? I mean, I know he used to, and you guys, there's one other thing too, and that is that they called his grandfather Abd al-Uzza, which Abd means slave or servant of. Al-Uzza was one of the daughters of Allah. Okay, so one of Muhammad's forefathers was named Abd al-Uzza, which means a worshiper or a slave of Uzza. Well, today we found out that Al-Uzza is Venus. So he's one of the slaves of Venus. So there's this idol thing going there. And Muhammad offered sacrifices to them, you know. Here's some things. Here's some hadiths about images, you guys. And I tell you what, you guys, these hadiths are, you know, this one I think is like virtual reality. You know, Muhammad foreseeing virtual reality. Muhammad says, "Indeed, in paradise there is a market, which there is no buying or selling, except for images of men and women. So whenever a man desires an image, he enters it." Okay, this one is da'if. It's in al-Tirmidhi. "In fi jannah la suqa ما فيها شراء ولا بيع إلى الصور من الرجال والنساء فإذا اشتهى الرجل صورة دخل فيها." Dang. It's like what, virtual reality? Dude, it's like porn. "I never used to leave the Prophet's house anything carrying images or crosses, but he obliterated it." So if Aisha, this is Aisha speaking, you guys, and she says, if I ever took something to Muhammad's house that had an image on it or a cross, why would Aisha be carrying a cross? Muhammad obliterated, he broke it. Let's see what it says in Arabic. Yeah. "Beto shay'an fihi tasliban ila naqtu." Okay, so Muhammad, if it had a cross, Muhammad broke it. Just like he says Jesus or Isa is going to come and break the cross, Muhammad used to break the cross too. Wow. You know, the interesting thing about this is that, anyway, because Muhammad said that Isa is going to come and break the cross. Well, here Muhammad is breaking the cross. So, Prophet said, "Angels do not enter a house in which there is a dog or an image." Surah, fiha kalb wala surah. An image. Now, a surah is like a picture. It's not necessarily a statue. But the hadith that I showed you, where it talks about in front of Muhammad's house by the door, the word there is not surah, it's tamathil. Tamathil is like little statues, like idols. Okay. The angels do not enter a house in which there's a dog or an image. Okay. Okay, the angels don't enter a dog where there's a dog or an image, a house where I made some food and invited Mohammed to come eat. He came and entered, and he saw a curtain on which there were images. So he went out and said, the angels do not enter a house in which there are images. Remember, Muhammad, you guys, he had images on curtains, he had statues, and he had a dog. Okay, 3 no-nos. Muhammad ordered Umar bin Khattab, who was at al-Batha at the time of the conquest of Mecca, to visit the Kaaba and obliterate all the images in it. The Prophet did not enter it until all the images were obliterated. So he didn't respect their religion, huh? That Jibril came to Muhammad with her image. Oh, you guys, this one right here is this is very bad. This is about Aisha. Okay, Aisha is the one who's saying this. So apparently Muhammad told her this. Jibril came to Muhammad with her image, Aisha's image, on a piece of green silk cloth. He said, this is your wife in the world and in the hereafter. So Muhammad used to dream about the 6-year-old girl. He dreamed that Jibril brought him a picture of her. Ooh, get arrested in America for that, huh? Wow. I heard the messenger of Allah say, the angels do not enter a house in which, okay, dog or an image. Whoever makes an image will be commanded on the day of resurrection to breathe a soul into it, but he will not be able to do so. Whatever, okay. Okay, this is the same thing here. People who will be punished are the idol makers. Ooh. Okay, angels do not enter a house where there is an image, a dog, or a junub person. Wila janb. Now, you guys, I think janb has something to do with semen. Sorry. Sorry. But if a person, like, their clothes has stains on it, they're not, the angels won't go into that house. The image makers will be punished on the day of resurrection and will be told, give life to that which you have created. Okay. So he repeats this one about, it's really, okay. There was an image. Tell us about images. Okay. The angels do not enter a house in which there is an image. Basr said, then Zaid fell sick and he went to visit him. On his door there was a curtain. These curtains, what kind of curtains did they have in this city? All the curtains have images on which there was an image. I said to Ubaidullah al-Khawlani, don't tell Zaid. Didn't Zaid tell us about the images yesterday? Didn't you hear him? Except for patterns on fabrics. Oh my goodness. Okay, so yeah, it seems to be a Zahaka does not contain the second verse. Okay.
They must have painted like with hand.
Or maybe they sewed it or something. وحدثنا حسن بن علي الحلواني وعبد بن حميدة كلهما عن عبد الرزاق أخبرنا الثوري عن ابن أبي نجيح بهذا الإسناد إلى كولو زهق ولم يذكر الآية الأخرى وقال بدل نسبا سنما. Both words mean an image. Okay. I don't know what that all. It was like a long chain of narrators, and there was nothing. Didn't say nothing though. That you not leave an elevated grave without leveling it, nor an image without erasing it. Angels do not enter a house in which there is a dog or object of images. And you're also supposed to level images or erase them. Supposed to erase images. Whoever makes an image will be punished. Okay, the makers of these images will be punished. I made some food and called, okay, but there was messages, so he, image or a dog. And the dog belonging to Al Hassan was in the house. Okay. Oh. Now I think this right here is a good hadith to have, because here Muhammad is directly quoting the Bible. It says, Mishkat al-Masabih, he reported God's messenger saying, when any of you fights, he must avoid the face, for God created Adam in his own image. Ooh. So there's a hadith, you guys. Muhammad saying, so Allah has an image? Allah has an image? Whoa. Okay. All right. Anyway, guys, that was fun. I was kind of hoping Shadi would come on. I thought he would be brave and come on, but he didn't. Redeem Baby Kittens, we were kind of hoping to see you too, man. I hope you're doing good, my brother, and we care about you. We'll pray for you. Hope everything's going good. If you're here, please let us know. And if you haven't done it, do it now. Jesus, help me. Jesus, forgive me. Jesus, come into my heart. Jesus, help me. Jesus, forgive me. Jesus, come into my heart. يسوع ساعدني. يسوع سامحني. يسوع ادخل قلبي. He loves you. We love you. Thank you guys for hanging out. Hope to see you tomorrow night with a new adventure. So God bless you guys. Have a great night.
If you have ever wondered why dull apologists lie so much, it's because on a rare occasion that they tell the truth, this happens.
One of the reasons I accepted Islam was the scientific miracles. I'll be honest with you. And now we know that this whole scientific miracles was absolute nonsense.
That the standard narrative